Dreams! They said to chase the dreams. I did chase mine, even though it was heavy, and it took a bit of time before I showed you the final product. But here it is, as beautiful as it is. No matter what you do, don't stop chasing your dreams. Talking about dreams, dreams never come true in a straight line. Sometimes you have to go and cut all the corners, meet all the challenges, all the setbacks. That's why this car has taken a bit of a moment or time before you see the final product. But the good thing is, she's there, looking beautiful and stunning. And of course, the big question is, where have we been? And what exactly has been going on? So, welcome to the final episode of the W211. A restoration that was a simple dream, a dream to achieve the daily drive of my perfect life. Or is it a perfect daily drive for my life? Whichever way you want to see it. There she stands, and she's 95% done. So let me take you back in time, and for me to do that, allow me to find a pillar of rock because this will require a moment to reflect and just look back at how far we've come. So before I tell you exactly what has happened and what challenges we've met and how beautiful it was to just connect and finish this car to what you can see it as it is right now, let me take you back to the beginning. So this is how this car looked like when we got it for the first time. I know some of you, like guys who don't believe in rebuilding or restoring diesel Mercedes Benzes, were like, why are you even giving yourself the trouble of doing this? This car is a money pit. It will take money from your pocket and you'll never get it to perfection. Well, the good news and the bad news is I spent some money, but I got what I was looking for. And so the point you guys have ended this video is where we are doing the final bits of the paint. And that marked also the end of our partnership with the garage we were working with. So at this point, we decided to move the car from the garage and take it for cleaning. And the cleaning here happened twice. So we went in for the first cleaning so that we can be allowed to come back and fit all the seats. After fitting all the seats, we had to go back the second time and clean it again. So we took it to a guy, a friend, a guy who's been on the channel. We've reviewed his Toyota Axio and you guys loved it. I think it's among the few videos that you guys have watched extremely on the video. And this guy is Alex Waziri wa Usafi. You know, he's a guy who does a good job. I had different options of taking to different dealers who do better detailing, or maybe you have sophisticated looking places to do interior detailing, but I chose to work with the guys I enjoy working with, and Alex happens to be just one of those guys. One, is quite interesting in terms of his stories and we blend quite well on that, and two, he loves cars as well, and three, he's a guy who's been on the channel. So supporting and building this kind of people in partnership is one thing that I really want to do last year and this year as well. And did I tell you Happy New Year? Well, Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. So here is us going for the first clean and the subsequent fittings and the second cleaning as well. You guys have enjoyed that. That car was quite dirty. But before I take you to the second bit of what we did, it's important that I reflect back to 2024. 2024 to me was a year of many upsets, both positive and negative. And you guys know what happened in 2024. It's a moment that almost shook Conversations, but we did whatever we could to hold back conversation and give it the value that you guys are going to see going forward. And one thing that I've done, and one thing that we've done as a team, again, we've done tremendous growth in 2024. I never knew for a moment or for a second I'll be standing in front of this camera and talking to you the way I'm talking right now. It was something that I hoped I will do, but it was not meant to happen as early as 2024. But you guys supported us. You guys gave me the strength to stand here and talk to you and deliver awesome and beautiful content as well. And that is something that I really want to appreciate you guys for that. And I believe going forward, we are going to make better valuable content. And just before I tell you about the second bit, because the second bit is quite enjoyable, it's mechanicals, where we had to go back and see what we had not done right and maybe just rectify a few things here and there, especially things to do with the suspension and all that. I want to tell you, in 2025, the team at Conversation, the goal right now is to focus on quality versus quantity. We just don't want to give you a video. We want to give you epic videos like what you've just watched today until this point. A video that you'll enjoy both storytelling, you'll enjoy both cinematography, at the same time we will deliver content in a palatable and more easy way to consume. So let's go back to our story. So where were we? We came back from our car wash, and of course at this point I took the car back home to the team that we currently have at Kashua. If you guys have not noticed, Kashua is a team that is out here to make sure that your car ownership experience is superb and fantastic. And so at this point I felt, you know what, why don't I bring the car home? Why don't I make this happen from a point of understanding, a point of knowledge, a point of utilizing the resources that I had at hand. And of course, one thing that I wanted to make sure that this car runs is smooth. And smoothness is what you get when you fix your suspension. Smoothness is what you get when you fix your brakes. Of course, that bites into safety as well. And so here is us with the team at the Waterfront Mall, fixing all the necessary things before I drove this car for 2,000 kilometers, which I've already done. So you're getting this video after having tested and verified the validity, authenticity, and reliability and the drivability of that beautiful machine. And finally, I had to bring the car back home. This remaining bit of the journey, I wanted to do it with my boys. So at Kashua, my technicians are here, and today the job is quite simple. We are going to do a suspension overhaul on this car, brake pads, and anything that we feel mechanically we need to fix. And then you guys will be able to see the final product. So this, enjoy our journey as we try to fix this car back to its epic condition. I'm happy and excited because the dream is slowly coming together. So guys, this is a suspension knuckle. It's called a knuckle because it carries a lot of things. So hii ni control arm, number one. Where's the other one, Alvin? Which one? That one. How do we call that? This is another control arm. This is another control arm. Yeah. So mnasikianga tunasema kila siku double wishbone. So now, lower control arm. This is another control arm. Then hii, it's being suspended on another wishbone. Just up there. It's something that looks like this. But technically what we've discovered is we are still doing good on this, so no need for replacement. Our ball joint is also good, no need for replacement. This arm is looking like it was replaced before we bought the car. So that is also not needing any replacement. But what we need to replace is the shock. Hii imeenda Bilstein. So we are taking back Bilsteins, but brand new, which is better. But this one is gone. This one is absolutely gone. So that's the job. Once we are done with that, the car will be perfect. So we have the brake pads out. Mr. Alvin amengoa hizi vitu, and you've noticed something. There is wear and tear on one side more than the other. So if you looked at this brake pad from this point, utafikiria iko sawa. If you turn it this way, it has completely gone. Same to this. This end done. This end looks brand new. So now Alvin says we have to also service the caliper. Apparently caliper ni mbaya, so the pressure balance on the caliper is off. So we also have to service that to make sure that the pressure is even across the brake pads. Then we should be good. It's an old car, so getting back things in order will require a bit of injections here and there.
While the boys at Kashua were busy fixing all the mechanicals, I was here wondering, how do I get the best insurance for this car?
That's why you need the right partner, and the right partner here is MTech. So what benefits do you get when you buy your insurance from MTech? One is you get the convenience of paying your insurance on a monthly basis, which is quite good considering we're in January and we need to do a lot of cost cuttings. Number two is you get a reminder every time your insurance runs out. In fact, they even go ahead and give you a call just remind you that tomorrow is the last day of your insurance cover. And number 3, which is very, very important, is they run down your claims. So in case you have any problem with your car, you had an accident, it's simple. You just call an MTech agent and they'll do everything possible to make sure your claim is paid on time. And as if that is not enough, because our partnership with MTech is something that we are really proud of, they've given us a promo code, which is CRN10. Anytime you're buying any insurance policy from them, you are able to get a 10% discount anytime you use that promo code. So make your car insurance purchases this year safe by using MTech. A black suit, black shoes. The only thing I'm missing is a tie with a maroon W211. That has always been the dream, and it's so fantastic that I get to fulfill this dream in a serene and beautiful place like this. Just look at the environment. Just look at that. Those are the epic scenes you get when you drive all the way from Ngong down towards Susua. That's what you get. A beautiful, beautiful place. And beauty is what we need to focus on right now, because after all that being done, it was time to make sure that this car looks beautiful and awesome. Of course, there are a few things that I'll talk to you about. What I didn't like about the paint, the workmanship of the interior designers or the guys who worked on the interior. I used guys who are close to us, guys we share tenancy with at the Waterfront Mall, and those are Sparkling. So we went to Sparkling, talked to a guy called Oti, and we did a very nice polish on this car. Here it is, beautiful it is. So buffing kidogo, and after doing the buffing, we jumped into the next step, which is protecting the paint. And I had 2 choices. One, I would have chosen to go with PPF to just protect the awesome, beautiful paint. Or number 2, just do a ceramic coat. Now, this is the spoiler. I am planning to repaint this car again for the second time, because there are a few imperfections that I will show you in the next section of this video, where I feel there are a few things that were not done right. And it's important that we do it right so that we keep this car, the legacy that this car has, intact. So here is the entire process of buffing, ceramic coating, and making this car look as beautiful as you see today. So let's talk about what we exactly have here, because you guys have not had the opportunity to see the final product. So let me take the courtesy of showing you exactly how this car looks. And while I do it, I'll also be telling you about the few things that I feel we did not do right. So number 1, the front bumper. Come on, this is one very beautiful aspect of this car. I love the front bumper. This is going with the style of the AMG E55. So this is the front bumper we picked from the AMG E55. That's the look and design that we're going for. And that grille as well, it's an updated one that goes with this bumper, and you have that. So for Mercedes-Benz purists, you either have this here or you have the big one here. I chose this one because I want to drive and have the 3-pointed star looking at me, or me looking at it when I'm driving. It's one epic feeling. So one of the significant mistake that I feel we committed while doing the paint job of this bumper. Remember, this bumper is plastic, and it's black plastic. So what you are supposed to do is do proper primer, that is plastic primer, before we lay the undercoat and then we do the paint. So as you can see here, if you come closer, you'll see that already there are chippings that are already coming out of that. That is because the plastic primer was not done right. But again, those are things that you get when you're doing a project. Sometimes you'll not get it 100% perfect, but those are things that you get when you're doing a project. So those are part of the things that I'll want to really fix. Number 2, this was meant to remain black, but apparently it was painted. So again, we have to do something about that. Number 3, some fittings. If you look at these headlights, you can see they have a very big gap. So I feel either the headlight fittings are off or the bumper has not been fitted right on this end. Again, we will work on that. But away from that, overall, the car is looking fantastic. It's looking beautiful. Of course, bumper fittings hapa pia bado haijaingia mzuri, but again, those are things that I expect. So there we go. In terms of the exterior body, it looks fantastic. I believe they did a fantastic job in terms of painting this car. It looks phenomenal. This side, again, plastic. Remember, the problem here is the plastic primer. You can see again chippings that are already coming off. And this is only 1 month after the paint job, or maybe a month and a half. So that's not supposed to happen. But again, these are things that we are going to correct. Something that you need to know that is very important is at the rear, we managed to stick with the former bumper, the rear bumper. So the other one that I shipped did not work. So we kept this one again, standard. This one, I'm going to delete it. That's why I've not yet changed the rear taillights. On both sides, I've not changed this, but I have these already existing, brand new, and this one as well. So we are going to do this and that. You can see the fitting is off. That is something again that I feel we are going to change. Overall, everything else is fantastic. I've not put the logos. I'm going to put the only simple logo here for Mercedes-Benz, but I'm going to debadge and leave this one without any badge so that people on the road can keep on guessing who is that just cruised by. So this one is going to leave. The rear taillights are going to leave as well. So let's talk about some few things that I wish again to do on the next phase. Remember, a project or a restoration project never really ends that quickly. So there are a few things that I really want to change again going forward. And one of them is the wheels. I still love this kind of look. It's still nice and interesting to me. But I'll prefer this style, but 18, and then with some low profiles. But again, on our Kenyan roads, the potholes that we have, having a low profile tire is good for aesthetics, but bad for the driving feel. So I don't know, I'm kind of there. Help me in the comments. What would you rather have me do? Do I go with the 18s and a smaller profile on the tire, or I just keep this and maybe refresh these wheels and make them sparkling clean and beautiful? I don't know, but something that I'm still considering is that as well. Something else that we did, which is awesome, is you guys saw us struggling with side mirrors and we tried fixing them. They have those black blinkers that we imported from China. Let's just say it was a waste of time. So I bought new side mirrors, and so we have on both sides new side mirrors which are clean, and they give it a clean finish. No madoidos, no nothing. We voted this as a team, and majority of the guys said we keep it clean and simple. So that's what we went with. Fantastic and phenomenal. So let's talk about the interior and see exactly how does the interior look like and what mistakes did we do when we did the interior. So one thing, I'll give it to the guys who did the interior. Even though we had some disagreements, and particularly it came down to the agreements we had. One, this job was never done on time. I struggle having this car out of the workshop on time. Partly this also contributed to the final product, me having delayed giving you guys the final product. This was actually meant to be my Christmas present with the team, and we were meant to drive to an epic location and just have a beautiful moment with the team and enjoy how difficult, challenging and fruitful again 2024 was. But unfortunately we couldn't do it, because by the time we were getting done with this car, it was on 24th of December. And partly it's because these guys did not meet the regulations of the agreements that we had. Regardless of that, one thing I'll give them is they did a fantastic job when it came to the seats. Just look at that. The seats are quite beautiful. I love how they were done. The quality of the leather is good. Everything else on the seat is mwah. I can't complain on it at all. But there are a few things that they screwed up. As always, they'll always screw up. One of the first things that they screwed up is they lied to me that when they're taking out the plastics, this is an old car. And one thing that you should know about old cars, be it a Mercedes, a Volvo, or anything, over time, when they age, the plastics become brittle and they can easily break. So it's important when you're doing a restoration, you need to work with a partner who understands that. And they will practice care and a lot of humility when they're breaking open these plastics. That is something they did not do. So look at this. For instance, number one, see this? This cannot fit back. So that is something that I have to work on. I didn't like the way they worked on this one as well. You see, these ones here, I don't know. Just look at that. The finish here is bogus. I didn't love it. So they didn't put this one back in the proper way. But again, it's not even going back the way it's supposed to. So that is something that I don't like. Few plastics were broken here. This one again. Fittings, guys, fittings. When you're doing a restoration, I don't know how to make this clear to anyone working on this type of cars or this type of projects. Bro, by the time I'm getting you this car, I've already spent a lot of money. If you break something, it's another extra cost I don't want to go through. Something else that they did is, now, up here, there is a light that sits here, okay? There's a light that actually sits here. And that light, I can't put it back because they mutilated the fiber that makes that light go up. So now what ought to happen is, imagine, just because that happened, I have to take the roof down again, get that fiber from a junkyard, run it from this point all the way to this point, and then do another fitting. I'm just tired. I feel like I couldn't do that now, so I'm just driving the car minus this light for now. Once I do that, I'll find the courage. When I'm doing the other things, I will do the final things and just make sure they fit in perfectly. Away from that, the roof was done quite well. Appreciate Ali for doing a good job. But again, the good job didn't come with a bit of disappointments. I don't know. Tell me, guys, is it a scale of probability ama ni mimi na kuwa na utiaji sana? But I feel if I pay you, because I paid for the entire job, 65,000 Kenya shillings. You guys were asking for the cost. So 65 is what I paid for the seats, the roof, and the steering. I don't know. Niligongo ama nilichezwa? You tell me the comments, but that's what I paid. And I feel if that's what I paid, I deserve to get the best value. So in the interior, hizo ndo vitu ziliboeka nazo. Let me show you the rear how it looks and just see how they also did it, and then we can discuss further on this. So on the back here, again, things were quite beautiful. On the seats, no complaints whatsoever. Hii yani ndapatia Ali. Kama kungekuwa na 11 out of 10, for me this is a clear 11 out of 10. But small mistakes that I had and I don't like. Number one, look at that. See, it was not done well. So that one is hanging. Number two, again on the roof. See this? You remember when I talked about the clips? So these clips were broken, so this thing cannot sit back. So I have to repeat working on that again. But away from that, I believe they did a good job. I think overall I'll give them a 6.5 out of 10. And 6.5 is dominantly because of the work they did on the seats. Would I recommend them to anybody else? Honestly, if I have to speak my mind, because 2025 naongea ukweli, no, I won't. Because of two things. One, I felt they didn't keep my time and they didn't honor the promise that they agreed. Number two, you know, fittings and doing things the way they've done here is what costs people jobs. And when I give you a job, I expect you to do the right job. So perfection here is a skill and nothing else. So I don't know. You guys tell me. If you like what they've done here, go ahead and give me a job. But would I recommend them? No. Hell no, I won't do that. Are they my good friends? Yes, I'll keep talking to them. But I can give them the seats only. But don't give them the roof. Don't give them anything else. Maybe the seats, they can deliver. So let's talk about the engine and see what exactly did we get at the front. And if you drive such a kind of a car, make sure you get yourself a leather bag that looks the part. What we have here, if you guys remember, one, I didn't have nilikuwa tunatumia mbao kushikilia, and you guys on Twitter, on X, really trolled me for that. Now you can see I have both. Let me put her in service mode that you guys can see. See that? Those are beautiful scenes. At the heart of this W211 is one very beautiful engine, an engine that will give you epic fuel economy, and there's a lot that we've done to make sure this engine runs well. Trust me when I say there's a lot that we've done, and the lot that we've done has to do with the mechanical bit, at the same time electronics. I feel like screaming. Ah! If there's anything that screwed us over and over again, are electronics. And we kept on doing it over and over again. I got to a point where I just could not take it anymore. I felt like I need to give up on this car. But let's talk about what we did. Of course, you've seen in the entire series few minor things you've done on this car, on this engine, to make it reliable and functional. And trust me, 2,000 kilometers later, it has not disappointed. It's been running smooth. The power has been fantastic. A few, pipes here to go into the intercooler and the turbo that were loose, and they will give up sometimes and just pop out. But we worked around that. All the leakages are fixed. The SBC is running smooth. The brake is working fantastic. But let's talk about the electronics, because that's where the problem is. Number one, the ESP went south. So I had to buy an ESP module. I had to buy something called a lateral speed sensor that sits under the driver's seat, which is a coordination between the speed sensors on all the wheels in connection to the ESP module that sits there and then connects to the ECU. And if one of them goes bad, you have ABC lights on the clock, you have ABS active, and this car drives like, to say the least. Let me withdraw that word, because I know young guys and young people watch my show. So I'll ask Mr. Editor to put T but you understand what I mean. So that is number one. Number two, the front sum had to go. So apparently, the front sum on this car. So this car has 3 sums. So sum is basically a place where you have your fuses and all those other components that control this car electronically. So it has one at the front, one on the driver side, one under the passenger seat, and another one at the rear. So now we've changed the front one, because apparently the one that was there belonged to a petrol engine, which was working like that word again that I said. So it was bogus. So we had to change that one, and it costs money. The ESP, I don't know, set us back around 15 Gs. The front sum around another 15 Gs. The rear one around 8,000. We have a body control module, which is what controls the electrical battery voltage shenanigans together with the alternator. That one again had to be changed. 10,000. All those things are things you change and you don't see them. I don't know, how much have I counted? Is it 60 or 70,000 on things that you cannot actually see? But those are the things that made us stay a bit longer before we brought this car to you. Right now on that clock, I only have 2 error codes. Error code number 1, the SRS, which is a seatbelt malfunction, is what you call a seatbelt squid that needs to be looked at. I believe there's a switch there that is not functioning well. That all. And then another one, occasionally, it's a battery malfunction, which again is down to a voltage regulator on the alternator. Away from that, this car is perfectly functional. 2,000 kilometers again, all the way to Busi and back, cross to Uganda, Teso, Bomet, Sotik, Ahero, all those roads know what this car can do. And I was taking on some serious cars. There's a guy along Bomet, Narok, alikuwa na Golf GTI. I believe he confirmed what this car can do. And this is a 646, so it's a 2,200cc diesel turbocharged. But stay put, because the next car that I'm going to show you is something interesting. Okay? So, transmission wise, we just did the service of the transmission and everything works on perfectly. No complaints whatsoever. So that is it, guys. I don't know, as they say, dreams come to those that believe, and those who are willing to wait, and those who are willing to sacrifice and put in the effort. And to me, there has never been a perfect daily drive than this 211. It gives you epic handling, it gives you comfort, it gives you style. It's one of the most accomplished Mercedes-Benz on the E-Class lineup. You can't convince me otherwise. I've owned and driven a 212, and friends have the 213. I'll never pick any of those over this, any day, anytime. So Let me get on the road and enjoy a beautiful, beautiful piece of art.